Hey everyone, Clickety here, and today I'm going to be telling some stories. So I've worked in retail for about a year now, and I've got plenty of stories of unruly customers. So I work at Target, specifically in the area called Food Avenue, which is where they sell Pizza Hut items, they sell like popcorn, and they also sell generally ices. Yeah, as part of the holiday season, I thought you guys might enjoy some little customer stories from people who are just ungodly rude. And just to put this out there, this isn't a reflection on everyone who goes to Target. This isn't a reflection on anybody or everybody who goes shopping or like all my experiences. A lot of the times people are really, really nice, but there are times when the people who are just so rude, they stand out and they can kind of become pretty good stories. This first story has to do with this lady who came up to my counter. So early on, I didn't know what was going on. I was still being trained by a lot of the other employees who worked there. So this happened to be a time when I had finally learned most of the stuff and I could close on my own. So I was on my own up at the front, just standing around waiting for time to pass so I could just clean up and go home. And this lady comes up and she looks at me and goes, "I want a hot dog." And funny thing about that was we didn't have any hot dogs at that time. And it should have been pretty clear to her that there was no hot dogs, since directly behind me was the hot dog roller, which at the time was empty. So it should have been pretty easy for her to infer that there was no hot dogs. I tell her, "I'm sorry, there's no hot dogs right now," but I don't explain why. And the reason why was we have these things called LODs, also known as leaders on duty. And one of the leaders on duty had come through one of the previous nights and looked at all the hot dogs in the freezer and had seen the date on there was old. And so he freaked out and threw away 4 cases of hot dogs. What he didn't realize, though, was that the hot dogs in the freezers do not have an expiration date. They only have a pack date. So when we get them in, you're just supposed to take the pack date and go 6 months out, and that's when they expire. And of course, none of the shipments of hot dogs had come in yet, so we just had no hot dogs. So I tell this lady that I'm sorry, we don't have any hot dogs, and she just goes mental. She loses her mind, saying how much I've ruined her day with the fact that we don't have hot dogs, and how all she wanted was a hot dog, and she came here specifically for a hot dog. I was just standing there silently looking at her thinking, "Lady, if your life is falling apart because of a hot dog, then I think you need to get some, help." So for about 3 minutes, she's just standing there going off on me about this hot dog. And then she says, "You know what? I'm gonna go to your manager." And I just look at her and I'm just like, good luck with that. They'll tell you the same thing I did, that we do not have hot dogs. And then she storms off. And I just stand there thinking, huh. This next story was around the time I was closing, and I had a long day of a lot of guests since it was a Saturday and it was around a holiday. So I'm finishing up, I'm getting done, and one of my managers walks over and says, "Hey, you've got a call." And I just kind of look at them and I'm just like, "What do you mean I have a call? No one calls up here." One of the funny things about the store I worked at was our phone system just did not work very well. They would drop calls, it would connect guests to guests, it would just cut people off in the middle, and it was awful. So I pick up the phone and I dial the numbers I'm supposed to dial to connect to the call, and I pick it up, and at first I respond, "Hi, this is Target Cafe. What can I do for you?" And all I hear in the background is car noises, like running car, like someone's driving. And I just go, "Hello? Hello, this is Target Cafe. What can I do for you?" And I keep hearing nothing. And then suddenly this lady chimes in and goes, "Why did you guys hang up on me?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, I didn't hang up on you, but now I'm here. What can I do for you?" And she just goes, "I want breadsticks. Do you have breadsticks?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, I do have some breadsticks." She's like, "Perfect. I'll be there in 15 minutes. You better hold some breadsticks for me." And I'm just like, "Okay." She's like, "What time do you guys close?" And I say 8 o'clock. And I look at the time and it's 7:55. She's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. If you just leave it open for me long enough. And I'm just like, ma'am, I close at 8 o'clock. If you are not here at 8 o'clock, I am not staying open for you. And she's like, why not? And I wanted to say, oh, I'm sorry. What's your name? Oh, it's Sharon? Oh, I'm so sorry, Sharon. I didn't realize today was all about Sharon Day. And I needed to serve you and give you everything you wanted because it's Sharon Day. So let me just stay open later, not go home and do my homework for my college classes because, it's Sharon Day. And, Sharon, you are the most important person in the world. I didn't say that. I really wanted to, though. I'm standing around waiting for the Sharon lady, and the second my clock turns to 8, I put my close sign up, turn my lights off, and throw away all my breadsticks so that she has no excuse to want to get some breadsticks, because that night I was just not in the mood. This last story isn't necessarily a story I experienced, but it was just absolutely hilarious to watch. So I was just standing, once again, waiting for my shift to end because I was tired and just wanted to go home. And suddenly I see our security guy walking by me with like 10 or 15 purses just clutched in his hands. And he's just walking by like there's no care in the world. Like there's nothing weird about this. He's just got 15 purses. And at the time I was like, what's this about? Why does he have so many purses? I come to find out that he had caught 2 women on our cameras taking purses and trying to leave the store. So he went and stopped them. And he got them in trouble. The police came, they got arrested, and when he brought the purses back to the security area and looked inside, he found wallets, jewelry, he found technology, he found all kinds of just small things that they'd shoved in these purses and tried to sneak out with. And the funniest part about this whole story was the fact that the securities were still on every single item. So if they thought they were going to be able to sneak out with that, they were just dead wrong. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want me to do more of these. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. 2-finger salute.